Hey friends, thanks so much for stopping by. Bryannah here, and every Monday I put out some type of motivational video to get you prepared and inspired for the week ahead, and today is a full-on meal prep video. So I hope that you take some of these recipes, prepare them in your kitchen, and get your family ready for a healthy week ahead. Hey friends, thanks so much for stopping by. My name is Brie, and today I am in the kitchen meal prepping a ton of food. So I quickly grabbed my camera and was like, I think this is going to be a good one for me to meal prep. Also, mom bangs. Can we grow back quicker, please? Anyway, so today I was just like writing my list, and I'm making tons of favorites for the week. That way our week ahead just runs a lot more smoothly, and if I don't have time to make dinner one day, I can grab something from the fridge. So today I'm making boneless chicken breast, I'm making a chicken soup, I am making delicious Whole30 meatballs with a marinara sauce that's like so good, spinach balls, a frittata, and some paleo muffins that I've never made before, but gosh, like, doesn't that sound so good? So making tons of stuff. I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks that I have along the way, and hopefully I inspire you to meal prep or just get in the kitchen and ignite some of that kitchen intuition. You can follow along daily on my Instagram account. I have two. I have my personal, which is Bryannah_K, and then my food one, which is Bites by Bryannah. I share a lot of cooking on those channels, so if you really like to get inspired in the kitchen, you're gonna wanna follow along there. But anyway, enough of the talking, let's get into the kitchen. This is like kind of how I go about the plan. So this is everything we're gonna eat for the week. These are the groceries that I needed to buy. And then this is like kind of the order of operations for how I'll be able to kind of get it all done in a quicker time frame. We'll start with the boneless chicken breast, followed by oven bacon and spaghetti squash. Then I'm gonna go for the meatballs, the marinara, the soup. These are the spinach balls that I make for my kids. They love them. I don't know if your kids would like them, but my toddler can be picky and she loves these spinach balls. So I'm gonna do that, and then the last two things will be the muffins and the frittata, but let's go. So the first thing I like to do is get my shredded chicken going. So I just throw in like 4 or 5 chicken breasts, and then salt, pepper, garlic powder, and I like to add a little bit of chicken broth to it, and that will cook for 1.5 to 2.5 hours on low. And then from there, I'll shred it up. Okay, so next I'm gonna make oven bacon and spaghetti squash. So I set my oven to 400. So for the spaghetti squash, I like to flatten a surface and then cut it in half. This takes some serious focus, so make sure that you're paying attention because it can get really difficult to actually cut the spaghetti squash. Once it's cut in half, you're gonna wanna scrape out all of the guts inside and remove the seeds and like that filling. I like to do this with a spoon. Once that is complete, then you're gonna prepare the spaghetti squash for actual baking, and the spaghetti squash takes about 40 minutes to cook through past al dente. Put olive oil, salt and pepper, garlic powder on all sides of it. Not too much, because if you add too much olive oil, then it will make your spaghetti squash soggy. And then I'm gonna pop it in the 400-degree oven for 30 to 40 minutes. I like 40 more than 30 because I don't like it to be like crunchy or al dente, as some food bloggers refer to it. I find it to just be like crunchy, and I like it to be softer. So I do 40 minutes at 400, and it's also face down for 30, and then you flip it over. Olive oil out of the way. You put it down for 30, and then you flip it over at the last 10 minutes. So the next thing I like to just have on hand, it's also going to go in the frittata later, is some bacon. So I bake the bacon in the oven for anywhere from like 12 to 20 minutes, just kind of like depending on the situation. But I really like this Peterson's bacon because it's Whole30 approved and the ingredients are awesome. Let me just flip you around to show you. So there is no sugar, it's just pork, vinegar, salt, celery powder, and it is absolutely delicious. And for the bacon, you can just pop it in the oven, like a non-preheated oven. So set it at 400 and then pop it in, and then that will stay closer to 20 minutes in the oven. But if it's already preheated, it'll be closer to 10. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the meatballs and the marinara. Both are Whole30, meaning it's dairy-free, gluten-free, all allergen-free, and I promise they are so delicious. Just watch. This food processor is my favorite time-saving tool for cutting up my veggies, especially on meal prep days, and it's even better if you have like picky eaters in the house because you can make all the veggies really fine and small, kind of like hiding them in your soups or stews, or in this case meatballs. I've had that food processor for over 10 years. So then I'm gonna add in the bacon. Okay, so I have a hot pan with olive oil. I'm gonna add in like 1/2 of an onion, chopped really fine. And then I'm gonna add in 2 garlic cloves, minced thin. And then I'm gonna add like a little bit of crushed red pepper, a little bit extra, and give that a good stir. Okay, so the bacon came out of the oven. It looks so good. Now I'm gonna put it on some paper towels and let it sit for a couple minutes. Up next, you want to add in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste to your sauce and kind of mix that around to get it toasted with some of the onions and garlic and red pepper flakes and the spices. So this will probably toast for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then from there, you want to add in a whole can of whole Italian tomatoes, a can of tomato sauce, check your labels for both of these, and then a splash or a 1/2 cup to a cup of the beef broth. As you're gently stirring this sauce, you want to be pressing down gently on the whole tomatoes to kind of crush them. I prefer to have them in my sauce, but my husband doesn't really like all those big pieces, so do it to your preference. And as always, you want to add in your layers of flavor. So I like to season as I go and taste as I go. That's my creative process in the kitchen. Okay, and then I'm going to add some parsley, basil, and oregano to the pot.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to swear free. I'm just as bad as you, and sometimes worries you see. But all this crazy right, I'm looking for the breaks. Come join me in the search. I think that's what it takes. Oh, we're racing to a red light. It's right there before our eyes. Somehow
I'm just gonna take a little taste to make sure that. Oh yeah. Oh, it's delicious. Oh, I get so excited because I'm sure you know when you cook for your family, like there's a lot of love that goes in here, but then when something tastes really good, like I know they're gonna love it, so I get so excited. Okay, so I'm letting the sauce simmer for about 20 minutes uncovered on low. Make sure it's actually on. Never turn it on. So bring it to a boil and let it simmer, and then I'm gonna flip these, throw them back in the oven for 10 minutes, and then get started on the meatballs. For the paleo meatballs, I like to take 2 pounds of ground beef, the 80-20% lean, to a half a cup of almond flour, 2 large eggs beaten, 1 tablespoon of arrowroot flour, and then I chop up some fresh parsley leaves. From there, I will add in 2 cloves of garlic minced. If you don't have a garlic press, it is one of my other most favorite kitchen appliances. I'm a simple girl in the kitchen. I don't really like much, but a good garlic press, a food processor, a Dutch oven, your own oven, a crock pot, that's like my go-to always. Then you'll add salt and pepper to your liking. I also like to add in half of a teaspoon of dried oregano. I kind of just eyeball it at this point, and I always add in just a pinch of garlic powder. Now get in there, mix it up with your hands, that way you can really feel that it's combined evenly and distributed evenly. Make sure you're not pressing too much, you know, you don't want to overwork it, but just enough so that it's combined and distributed nicely. Okay. So from here, you want to take your meatballs and make them like a golf ball size amount, so like about that big. And that really is the trick to keeping them tender and not drying out. And that really is the trick I found for meatballs, because I used to make these meatballs that were like not huge but bigger, and they would get so dry in the middle because they're on the stovetop longer. So what we're gonna do is just sear and brown the sides, so like the front, the top, and the bottom, and maybe a side, and then cook the rest in the marinara sauce. So good. So like they're gonna see, and there'll still be a little bit of pink inside, and that's okay. Don't be afraid of the pink with ground beef. And of course you want it to hit its internal temperature, but it's like a burger, right? Like unless you're ordering your burgers well done, I don't. It's okay for them to be a little bit pink on the inside. And the next step here is to sear each side of your meatball. So I'm going to sear the top, the bottom, and the sides of the meatball. This is so that when you go to transfer them to cook in the sauce, it doesn't fall apart and become like a bolognese or a meat sauce. So you're searing them to keep them in the meatball form, and it's also creating like an outside barrier to cook the inside, right? So you're only going to keep these on for about 3 minutes each side, if that. Definitely keep an eye on them. Don't walk away to check your Instagram stories or anything like that, because they could burn quickly. I like to cook the meatballs on medium, high to high heat, but just like seasoning, you know, follow your heart, season with your heart. I also do this in batches to not overcrowd the pan, so I did 2 batches. Okay, so I did my 3rd side, and I just want you to take a look. The meatballs do not have to be done. See how that's pink right there? That one will cook a little bit longer. That's why I'm like putting it up on the side here so that it really can stay up and cook. But see how that one's like pink still? See how that one's still pink? That's okay. They're gonna go right in the pot and cook a little bit longer in the pot. Okay, so the meatballs are now in that pot, simmering. It smells so good in my kitchen. I wish that you guys could smell through the TV. But if you make any of these recipes, please be sure to tag me on socials and just let me know how your kitchen smells. Like, does it not make you so happy? It makes me so happy. Up next is my chicken soup, which I actually call Cinderella soup to my kids. So this is a big tip I have if you have picky eaters. Call whatever it is that you're making whatever they're into. So this is our Cinderella soup. She's also very into Snow White right now, so I make like Snow White spaghetti and, you know, Arendelle whatever. I'll say the recipe came all the way from the kingdom. Like, can you believe it? We have to try it. And she gets so excited for it. So this is my Cinderella soup, aka chicken soup, and it's kind of like everything that I have in my fridge. It's more of like a healthy soup, a cleansing soup. It's really yummy though. So when you try it, let me know. Tag me or comment below. So I have my extra virgin olive oil heating, and then over here I chopped up some carrots, celery, onion, and then I'm gonna add some garlic and ginger. So I'm just prepping my ginger, and I want to show you a little trick. So the ginger has all the skin on. You just can take like a spoon, and then you take a spoon and you just scrape, and all of that skin comes off really easily. See that? It's very simple, a little trick. I'm gonna do my carrots and celery first because the carrot pieces are like those big thin quarter leg pieces. So they're gonna take a little bit longer to cook, and I don't want it to be crunchy, especially with my daughter. So I'm gonna let those cook with a little salt, pepper, garlic powder for probably like five-ish minutes longer, and then I'll throw in the onion. Alright, so up next is the onions. You can throw them in the pods. And then I'm gonna mince up the garlic and add the grated ginger.
There's no going back, no going back. There's no going back to your old life. Not living in the past, we're over that. I'm feeling it tonight, riding on the dizzying heights.
I'm gonna grate up some ginger. At this time, I would absolutely love it if you chose to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, drop me a comment, turn on your notifications. I post videos every Mondays and Fridays to hopefully inspire and motivate you to get up, tackle something on your to-do list, get cooking in the kitchen, offer any little piece of help that I can give from my home to yours. You just take 2 forks and you just essentially make them into like noodles. Okay, so up next we're gonna make the spinach balls. Because I didn't have 2 overripe bananas, I only had 1 overripe banana for the muffins. So my trick is if you put a banana in your oven, you see that? That was like a fresh banana and it actually ripes itself. So that's gonna be like another 5-ish minutes. So until then I'm gonna get the spinach balls going because they need to cool before you make them into a ball. So let me show you how to make those. For this recipe, I typically use a 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs, but I didn't have that in my pantry, so I had to use almond flour and a little bit of arrowroot flour. It didn't come out as good as it normally does with the panko breadcrumbs, so I recommend using the panko breadcrumbs. This recipe is on my blog at healthylittlemama.com, so if you need the full recipe, you can check it out there. Sorry for the lighting. Heavy sun coming in outside, so you just spray it with some parchment paper and then make some balls. If it's like a little bit wet, you can roll it in some more, but I'm not really doing that right now. So we're just gonna have some. Up next, I'm making delicious chocolate chunk tahini banana muffins. I seriously ate almost all of these in a day with my family. They were so good. So you want to start off by preheating your oven to 350 and line a muffin pan with like 12 muffins. So I have like the silicone muffin tins. If whatever you have is totally fine. Then in a large bowl, you're going to whisk together 3 eggs and 2 mashed bananas with the tahini and the maple syrup. So it is 1/3 cup of the maple syrup and then 1/2 cup of tahini. With that, you will then add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I didn't have enough vanilla extract. I think I wound up using not even 1 teaspoon and they still came out delicious. So I will always say this, you measure with your heart. Even though baking, you do need to be a little bit more precise than with cooking. After that mix up, you're going to do a separate bowl where you add 1 1/4 cup of blanched almond flour. I use the Bob's Red Mill brand. I really like that for everything paleo. Then you are going to add 1/3 cup of flaxseed meal and 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon to 1 teaspoon of baking soda and a sprinkle of fine sea salt. do is put in some chocolate chips. I like these. Are you okay? I get you. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I have my little helper now. But we're just gonna use the chocolate chips. Oh, okay. Very chocolatey. Yum. Alright, awesome. And now I'm just gonna mix it up, fold it in. What do you think? Oh, that looks good. Right, little miss? Actually, I feel like we need more. I feel like we need more. Yeah, good. Scoop them in the muffin tins with my fancy little So just wanted to try one of these muffins. Like, look at how good they look. Oh, that's good. You have to like tahini, because there's definitely a tahini taste to it, but it's really, really like moist. Sorry if you don't like that word. Moist. These are good muffins. Thumbs up. Okay, so the last thing I'm making is a frittata. It is so delicious, so easy. I'm gonna make it in my cast iron, pop it in the oven, and then cut it in like pizza slices to have ready for the morning. So I'll have that and the muffins and my coffee, and I'll be good to go. But this is a good one, so you'll like it. Very like. I swear that I'll stay with you. Okay, as you can see, I am a sweaty, glistening mess. Meal prep is done. I feel really good about going into this week. I made tons of really great options for my family, and I hope that this inspired you to do the same. Do I do this every single week? No. It's usually weeks that I feel like I've kind of lost a little bit of control in terms of like us getting vegetables and nutrient-dense foods in our body, and then I take it seriously like this. But otherwise, I just prep like sides, a soup, you know, a frittata or something that's easy. Anyway, let me know in the comment section below if you are meal prepping this week, if you're excited to meal prep, if you're not a meal prepper, or like some of your favorite recipes that you'd like to see in upcoming videos. Otherwise, I appreciate you all so much. If you have not done so yet, please remember to like and subscribe. I would love to have you a part of the community and get to know you a little bit more. But as always, until the next video, bye friends.
Give me love, give me all your love, give me all your love.